Welcome to day 4 of the Coaching Leader Shift. How did you get on yesterday with I'm okay, you're okay? Do let us know in the WhatsApp group. But for now, we're on to day 4, which is all about the fact that you don't get to decide if you're trustworthy. Most leaders think that they are trustworthy. But here's the cold truth. You really don't get to decide that. It's your team that does. So let's make this real. You might think that you're open, you're approachable, and you might have told them that old classic that your door is always open. And that might be your intention. But what's really important to understand is that trust isn't built on intention. It's actually experienced in interaction. And there's often a gap between how you think you show up and how others actually experience you. So what's actually going on? Trust is not one thing. It's actually made up of different components. And if one of them breaks, trust can break. And this is where the trust equation, one of my favourite models, becomes really useful. The trust equation is what it says, a maths equation that says that trust or trustworthiness equals credibility plus reliability plus intimacy, so a sum of those 3 things, and we can erode or divide all of that with what's known as self-orientation. So let's have a look at that in more detail. First up, we said credibility. What does that mean? Well, that might be how good you are at doing something or how good you think other people are. It might be the qualifications that they have, the experience that they've gained over time. You might look at one of your colleagues and believe that they are credible in the role or not. And you'll give them a score out of 10 for that credibility. But we then need to add in the other 2 components. So the next one is reliability. And when it comes to reliability, this is all about, do you do what you say you're going to do? And in my experience, you might have the most credible person in the world, tick, brilliant, but they don't often show up when it comes to reliability. They say they're going to do something, they don't do it on time. They say they're going to make it happen and it gets kicked down the road like that dusty can. And so the reliability part of the trust equation is impacted. Think about people that you know and that score of reliability. If you were scoring them out of 10, what score would you give them? And then our final part of that top equation is intimacy. And intimacy is all about whether that person feels able to come to you and share their vulnerability, whether they feel like they can do that without you judging them or criticizing, whether they feel safe, and indeed how much of that you might do with them too. Intimacy is the part that I feel is missing in most leaders because we've been taught that professionalism means keeping everything on the inside. But if you've got people in your team and you don't even know what they do at the weekend or who they live with or where they're going on holiday, then your level of intimacy with that team member is low. You have to be interested in order to generate trust. So if we think about those 3 elements, credibility plus reliability plus intimacy, and each of those things has a score out of 10, where do you think your people might score you and where would you score them? We've now got a score overall out of 30, but here's where it gets tricky. That can be eroded or divided by what's known as self-orientation. And what is that? Well, self-orientation is about how much you care about other people versus how much you care about yourself. Now, the thing is, we're all ego-driven. That's true. It's part of how we're made up. So you might say, of course, I'm always going to put myself first. And there's an argument to say that you should. But as a leader, It's really important that you are putting your team's needs ahead of yours. And that has to show up in all of your transactions. And this is where many leaders fall down, particularly those that wear the perfectionist mask or the persecutor of others mask, because their self-orientation tends to be higher. They don't let people in. You have to demonstrate to people that you are serving them ahead of serving yourself. If not, your self-orientation score will be high, and that will erode any trust that you've built up in that equation. So think about that. How might your team members be viewing you through the lens of the trust equation? What might the score be, and what can you do to bring that score up? Similarly, they might be able to score you in the same way, and you can do the same thing. So what's the shift? Instead of asking, am I a trustworthy leader? Ask, how am I experienced by others? Because that, as we've said, is what drives the behaviour. So how are we going to apply this? Well, let's have a look at number 1. We've already discussed it a little bit. I want you to go away and score the relationships. Think about one person in your team. Score each of the equation areas out of 10, the credibility, the reliability, the intimacy, and the self-orientation. Don't overthink it. Go with your instinct, because the score will tell you something. And then you can repeat that for the rest of your team members. You can do it with your peers, and you can also do it with your leaders. The second thing that you can do then is to look for where the trust is breaking down. Where is the score lower? Because that's your clue. If credibility is low, then they may not trust your judgment. If reliability is low, then they may not trust your consistency. And if intimacy is low, they don't feel safe being open with you. If self-orientation is high, they feel it's more about you than them. Trust doesn't break everywhere. It usually breaks somewhere in that equation. The third thing you can do then is use it as a coaching moment. You can take that insight into a conversation. And it's not about calling it out directly or saying it's right or wrong. It's just about adjusting how you show up and talking about that. If intimacy is low, don't wait for them to come to you. You go to them. And this is where that "my door is always open" becomes a problem, because often what leaders really mean is, "I'm here if you need me, but don't bother me." And that sounds supportive, but it puts all the effort on the other person. If you really want your team to be more open with you, stop saying that your door is always open, and instead walk through it and go and see them. Go and speak to them. Be interested, and not just in the task that they're doing, but in them as a human being. Really dial up the intimacy. And that doesn't mean oversharing or turning into a therapist. It means being human enough that they can be human too. Show interest, ask what's going on, notice when someone is holding back, and share a bit of you as well, so that the relationship doesn't feel one way. Trust isn't built through passive availability. It's built through active connection. Now, the real truth here is you don't decide if you're trustworthy. You only get to decide how you show up, how consistent you are, and how much space you create for others. The rest is then decided by them. Take care of you today. Pick one person, score that relationship, and ask yourself, what would I do differently for that score to go up? And then take that next step. Tomorrow, we're going to bring this back to you, because even when you know all of the things that we've done over the last 4 days, if you don't regulate yourself, you'll default back into that mask position. So go and download the pod sheet, have a look at Trust Equation today, and I'll see you tomorrow.